Hi guys. So I'm Sameer Patel. I'm CEO of Kahuna. If you don't know who Kahuna is, we are. I'll just make sure that I can expense my trip back home and tell you a minute about what we do. We're a B2C marketing automation platform, and what we do is we can understand gestures of what consumers are doing within seconds, and then we apply machine learning to figure out the right place, right channel, right time, right message, and we could work with your existing email service providers and whatever technologies you have in place. We kind of fit into your environment. So that's us, the Dollar Shave Club, Yelp, Yahoo, a lot of fun modern brands that work with us. I'm new to the industry. I've been in the industry for about a year, and one of the biggest realizations that I had as I started to talk to customers in the space was, when you start to look at all of the big tectonic changes that are happening around us today, you see Amazon getting into the physical space, you see Walmart buying bonobos, Nike selling through Amazon now. When you size all of that up, the question that's in my mind is, are these very sort of tactical, disconnected moves that vendors are making? Or is there a thread to be had across all of these big moves? Because they're really, really big moves. And the thing that is coming off to me, and which is really the essence of a lot of what we're going to talk about over the course of the day, is there one thing you could pull out that sort of helps you understand what is the nucleus of all of these really, really big, bold moves that are happening in commerce right now? And in my opinion, the big thing that's happening here is a mad rush towards up-leveling the game to personalization and truly understanding and being able to really go as far as you can to really understand what every one of your consumers wants and looks at, right? What does Amazon buying Whole Foods mean? It means that it starts to really understand an entire chunk of my share of wallet and my spend, which they really didn't have a really good sense of. That's a ton of data that they have in terms of understanding how I drive through a whole other different preference of purchase preference. Most of you here, I have 2 kids, and we went through back to school. The truth is we shopped at Target and Walmart, and I shop at Bonobos. So from Walmart's perspective, to truly understand who I am has to go beyond the traditional goods and services that they've been selling if they are really serious about understanding who I am. Because my buying patterns expand across a whole bunch of brands, some high-end, some not so high-end. And the data that Nike can get back about all of our preferences today is going to be 1,000x off of Amazon than they could have ever gotten out of Nike.com. The holistic data set about what I'm doing, what I'm interested in, that they can glean off of the broader footprint that I have on Amazon.com will never, ever be able to be matched by Nike. So, when you look at these trends and you try to understand what is disruption, my true belief is that we are at the starting point of a whole new round of e-commerce disruption. This is not incremental. These big changes we just talked about is going to force an entirely new way of thinking that most modern brands are looking at. And what I'd like to sort of share with you today is I think it's anybody's game. Anyone, whether you're a 50-year-old company or a 5-year-old company, has a shot at being a real player in this, right? So the first thing you looked at is, and one of my biggest pet peeves is the word disruption. It's so carelessly thrown around today. People do a little cute marketing campaign and they're like, we disrupted stuff. No, like disruption, to really mean disruption, you have to up-level the game. And I think this is one of the best definitions where if you are not expanding your market size, you are not truly disrupting. If you are just purely finding an interesting way to sell or a better way to connect with a customer, but you haven't created a bigger market, that's the bar that I look at when I think of disruption. So let's start with the most overused example on the planet, Uber. Uber created a lot more supply in their model, and I think you would all agree with me that most of us take a lot more cabs now that there's Uber compared to how much you might have before. That's expanding the market size. Airbnb did not try to steal a hotel room from Marriott and from the Sheraton. Airbnb tried to say, how do we let people who cannot afford to travel create memories and moments in their lives by finding a much more affordable, approachable way to find boarding and lodging, right? That is expanding the market. That's many more rooms available, and that's many more of us willing to take short vacations because we can create